It is important to be critically literate in order to learn to identify and clarify ideological perspectives in texts, not necessarily to evaluate or applaud a writer's ideology, but simply to see what the novel's about. Indigenous author Mud Ruru, now known as Colin Johnson, first published the famous novel Wildcat Falling in 1965. During this time, marginalisation and segregation was on the rise with the introduction of the assimilation policy, a policy of absorbing Aboriginal people into white society through the process of removing children from their families. The ultimate intention of the policy was the destruction of Aboriginal society. Johnson's work is not only an aesthetic approach, but also a realistic viewpoint on societal marginalisation. Marginalisation is defined as a complex process of relegating specific groups of people to the lower or outer edges of society. The novel portrays both communal and familial attributes in relation to the marginalised status of Indigenous Australians. Through its aesthetic features, Wildcat Falling is a highly effective perspective of 1960s segregation and marginalisation, resulting in continued relevance to today's society, and therefore greatly recommended to be purchased for an adolescent schooling curriculum. Johnson has successfully incorporated a diverse range of characters to combine both communal and familial marginalisation within the novel. The protagonist faces many hardships and marginalisation portrayed through his mother, whose character plays a fundamental role in Wildcat's sense of racial marginalisation and social status. Jessie Dugan highly manipulated him through fear and isolation of his traditional heritage, therefore resulting his overall perception towards her as negative, when he learns that she has moved into the Moonrow camp which she has spent her life despising. In response, he thinks to himself, page 123, "Serves her right, she had it coming, giving me over like a sacrificial offering to the vicious gods of a white man's world." This quote demonstrates Wildcat's attitudes towards her, having realised that she had been a main cause for his lack of belonging in both the white and Indigenous society. The quote also affects the audience, positioning them to pity our protagonist as a victim because of society's harsh assimilation laws. Wildcat is also constantly marginalising himself due to his past experiences with his mother, manipulating him with fear of government standards, seen on page 31. No one spares a glance for the halfway delinquent, and this is how I want it. This has been taken by page 31. During this time, Wildcat has just exited prison, still in his jail clothes, and of course, his dark skin. Wildcat marginalised himself due to his attributes and traits he carries with him as a quarter class, and his prison-like clothes as a delinquent. These are two clear and obvious stereotypes during the 1960s. This positions the audience to feel a sense of pity and shame as judgment affects him so much that he judges himself before they can. Both these quotes prove overall the potential of novels like Wildcat Falling to be purchased for adolescents and a schooling curriculum to introduce different values and perspectives on marginalisation. Another way Mud Ruru capitalises on readers' emotion is via the powerful influence of setting. The protagonist constantly undergoes segregation communally as to where he fits in, attempting to adjust to the different social groups. Wildcat meets June, a university student, after being relieved from jail on the beach, and immediately after starting conversation, judges her an assumption as seen on page 75. "I guess from the way she looks at me, this is the closest she's ever gotten to an Aboriginal." Even though this statement is seen bluntly, it can also be interpreted as an interesting fact, since during the 1960s, Aboriginal people were placed on the outskirts of society, and whites in the centre. This technique positions the audience to recognise the clear segregation of black and white cultures. Society positions Aboriginal people in such a negative way, resulting in them not wanting to be included in a white society, and how can we blame them? Page 22 shows a clear understanding of what Wildcat goes through, as he would rather go back to jail than be part of this white society. "I want to pound on the locked gates and demand to be let in again. I turn away." This explains how the protagonist feels isolated in the society and would rather go to jail, a place where at least he feels he belongs. This quote positions the audience to have a sense of understanding because we can see how racist the society and government are during this time, leaving the audience to pity his decision about going back, even when he felt out of place there anyway, but even more outside the jail walls. Overall, the segregation and marginalisation of Indigenous people in the 1960s is represented by Mud Ruru as having a lasting effect on their physique. This is further shown through the novel's aesthetic features. Throughout the novel, Johnson has included many interesting aesthetic features used to create sufficient representation of plot, characterisation and description that incorporates marginalisation. One of the more in-depth and visible metaphors include a dream Wildcat has when talking to the Aboriginal man, seen on page 127. "I soar into the air with my cat body and crow wings. Up and up. Almost there. Almost. Don't look down. Keep your cat crow eyes on the swelling bright face of the moon. Not down, not down. Though the old earth is killing you, you've got to look down. He has been deceived. It is a trick. Have to have wings to explain. This shows the moon portrays white society, a goal he's expected to reach in a segregated world. His wings being the ambition he holds to be a societal norm, along with the crow representing his mother and in turn the government through the assimilation policy and their manipulation, which overall positions the audience to feel a sense of sympathy due to many attempts and many failures to fit into this white society due to the false hope others have inflicted upon him, and overall for Wildcat to be something he's not, a white man. Furthermore, Jonathan uses another metaphor to outline confusion on where Wildcat is going to go in life, which is also proven on page 17. Black cat, where are you going to go? Black cat, where are you going to go? This quote demonstrates a repeated question Wildcat faces and is an excellent metaphor explaining where Wildcat is going to go in life. The metaphorical meaning shows Wildcat doesn't know where he's going to go in life because of his past and background. Taking into consideration how before this quote, Wildcat was just ready to leave the jail walls, while being tormented by a guard, asking where he would go in life. Along with the fact that society is preventing him from moving forward in life because of his skin colour as a black cat. Overall, he's grown up with this view due to the government's perception on coloured people in society and the manipulation of white society regretting those who don't fit in. This quote effectively connects to the rest of the story and is a relevant introduction, which is page 31. While I was inside, Celia's prison worker asked me if I knew where I was going. I said, a ticket was put into my hand when I was born. But if it gave me a destination, well, time had smudged the ink, and so far, no collector had come to clear up this matter. This is a strong example of a metaphor used such as he was given a ticket of opportunities at birth, the opportunities he has in life. However, with no one helping him, no one to guide the way to that destination, he strayed from his path and became lost in the jail of life. This resulted in his opportunities being lessened and the ticket he got being old and weakened, therefore making it smudged and now ineffective. Both these quotes help position the audience sympathetically and get a much broader understanding of the greater challenges Wildcat faces, all resulting back to the previous statement of the novel's aesthetic features. Wildcat Falling is a highly effective perspective on the 1960s segregation and marginalisation, and for these reasons it's greatly recommended to be purchased for an adolescent schooling curriculum. Overall, Wildcat Falling has purposely constructed a wide range of perspective and interpretation of 1960s marginalisation and segregation. This results in readers gaining a greater understanding of those who are pushed to the outside of society. Through its aesthetic features, development of character, and manipulation of setting, Wildcat Falling is a highly effective perspective on marginalisation and its impact on modern, developing countries. Therefore, the Spinifex PAC must purchase this novel not only for the good of the school, but also for the good of the country. Thank you.